Well, hello folks, welcome to another video. And the camera's kind of lopsided. Let's see here. Screw it, let's leave it lopsided. Yeah, because the camera, of course, when I'm done, I unmount it and all that stuff and remount it. And I guess this time is a little bit off. Let me check. Okay, anyways. So let's go ahead and get this done. So yes, I'll be smoking the Nub Connecticut, and it is a small cigar. So this should take me about 20-30 minutes to get done. Let me toast it. Yeah, the gauge is a little bit bigger than I actually like. So I think that's good. Touch it a little bit more. Yes, it is now officially September, and wow, the draw on these cigars, like, it's like super smooth. It's almost like sucking hair through a through a straw, which is actually preferred, over a cigar that's hard draw. And yes, I've had nubs that's a hard draw. Okay, there it goes. I think that just about. There it goes. And yeah, again, this is a nice cool night. It rained again during the day like crazy. Get my water. And of course, last night, Pedal Hitler, or Dictator Biden, surprisingly, the guy did. I guess to be like his second speech in Pennsylvania. Of course, the last night's speech was his address to the nation, and I guess the day before was like his I guess rally speech in front of 150 people, 200 max, in some small high school gym, which had like half of their bleachers folded up. And for most of us who went to public school, I think they have it in private schools too, but some schools don't have. Some schools have a national auditorium, and well, some schools have and some don't. So basically, these are folded up bleachers. You pull them out. They fold up to the wall, and I guess there's a locks at the bottom. You unlock the lock, you pull it out. I remember in middle school and high school when when you take PE, or I took basketball. It was in middle school. Yeah, I'm not very big, so just one of those things that anyways. But yes, one of the things that we had to do before a game or during PE was some of us were assigned to unfold and refold the bleachers. So that's how I know, that these actually fold up. So they had the half of the bleachers folded up, and then these folks who were there, they didn't seem, those people didn't seem very excited. So anyways, his speech last night had a very dystopic dictatorship air about it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched bits and pieces of clips, stills. If you compare pictures, it depends. I guess they're saying that CNN actually lightened up the background a little bit, because if you watch on other networks like NBC or MSNBC, they actually left it they actually left it neutral, which which is no camera finagling. And if you look at pictures, a lot of pictures will show it was a very dark. The background is very dark, had red lights. It was like, what the hell, man? It looked like a speech out of 1984. Or if you ever look at any artist that does like a 1984 dictator speech cartoon or drawing, it looks like that. You got all of these, you got the red and black foreground, the red and black backgrounds, and then you got the dictator in the middle yelling, and then the dark crowd, and then you got the red and black background. So basically, the background was supposed to be red, white, and blue. The problem is the background behind Biden, Pedo Hitler, was red. So they should have rigged it to where it was at least, maybe a white or a blue background behind him. But whoever rigged it up, had the blues, they had actually, yeah, because there are pictures like a wide angle pictures. It has in the middle is this dark red. Now on the side it's also dark, but it's like dark and blue. So it's a very dystopic, very moody type of background, type of atmosphere. Yeah, and he spent 20. Yeah, and of course his speeches, I guess the one he had the day before, and his I guess address the nation yesterday, were about 25 minutes, and I guess for Biden that's long enough. Yeah, and he literally spent about 80% of it, yelling and being angry at Trump, being angry at MAGA, and and of course he has every right to be angry at his political opponent. He has every right to call us whatever he wants. He can call us mofos and all that if he wants, but it doesn't make it true. You can call your political opponent all you want, or what you want. If it's true, it's true. But if it isn't true, you can say all you want. It's not true. And yes, there was a guy for of course there are clips of it, video clips of it. And you can hear the guy in the background saying F Joe Biden. He's not saying F. He's saying the F-U-C-K. For pretty much the whole 24 minutes. Now you would think a security, I guess it's not part of the secret. I guess it's not part of the Secret Service's job to escort people out who are hecklers. That's actually the police or paid security, or maybe someone from the Biden flotilla. Or maybe even Jill would, should have gotten up. I was like, hey man, where's this guy at? Or maybe they didn't hear it, but in the video you can hear the guy say it, and people are saying he did it through the whole 24 minutes. And I hope the guy ghosts, disappears, and so that way the FBI don't find him. Is it illegal what he did? Nope. What he did was completely legal under the First Amendment. Yeah, and Biden is a politician, so he has no, he has no protection or any kind of a recourse, because yeah, if you're a politician, you're supposed to allow I guess consent. But again, I'm surprised nobody escorted the guy out. Maybe maybe nobody heard him. Maybe they did hear him, but they're like, well, someone, maybe it was, hey, someone will take care of the guy, but no one ever does. Maybe it's one of those where it's like, yeah, well, I hear the guy, I would do it, but yeah, someone else will do it. Screw it, So it wasn't really much of an address the nation, as more of a rant. He had maybe 4 minutes of it. Actually, nothing. I mean, there was no mention of China. No mention of the inflation, no mention of the border, no mention of the energy crisis going on in Europe. I think he mentioned Ukraine. So basically, all the stuff that the people are angry about, he mentioned nothing of that. So I don't know if, like I said, it wasn't really addressed the nation as more of just a rant against Trump, against Trump and MAGA. Wow, this cigar. Now I forgot to check what the humidity was in the humidor, but yeah, this cigar is on the drier side. Usually with drier cigars, the draw is like really smooth. There's lots of smoke. It's not really hot though, because normally with dry cigars, the smoke will be hotter. Let's see. No, I don't keep the smoke in my mouth. There are some for very long. Now there are some cigar smokers who will kind of, I guess, keep the smoke a little bit longer in their mouth. Some will even inhale it like smoking cigarettes. I don't know how those dudes do it. Their lungs must be petrified. Is it petrified, or is that the correct word? Because actually petrified could mean scared. Petrified could also mean it's turned to stone. Like I said, I didn't smoke or drink in my teens or in my teens and 30s. Yeah, I give away my age. But of course, all this gray. I've always had gray hair. That's the thing. But now that I'm older, it's even more gray. But I've always had gray. And no, since I keep my hair cut short, I'm not going to. The wife didn't say, "Hey, why don't you dye your hair?" I was like, I keep my hair short. Dyeing it, if you're going to cut your hair every 2 to 3 weeks, why bother dyeing it? Yes, Nancy Pelosi, all of these older ladies, they all dye their hair. Joe Biden dyes her hair. I guess even Melania. Every woman, I guess when little girls get to a certain age, and it's almost like a rite of passage, where Mama shows the little girl how to dye her hair. I know my nieces, they're mothers show them. That's one of the things. You go buy color, for the little girls, and of course little girls, like the little girls dyeing their hair, pink, green, purple, and all that stuff. That's fine. They're little kids. Teenagers would dye. My niece, they all went through that phase of, the green streak in their hair, the gray streak, which was kind of in, I guess, because of anime. And yeah, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. No. It's just me out here, so. Yeah, and I hate it every time you sneeze, especially a double sneeze. It's like, oh, here comes the runny nose. So I'm gonna pause the video, go blow my nose, and come back. Okay, and I'm back. Thanks for waiting. Well, actually, you wouldn't be waiting because of the video editing. Yeah, I've had some of my friends and relatives who came down with a summer cold. And yes, a severe cold is called a flu. Of course, I kept away from them until they recovered. A week later, yeah, that's how it was. A week later, I'm cool, dude. I'm not sick no more. We can hang out now. I'm like, yeah, that's okay, dude. I'll give you an extra week before I go around you. Yeah, and I usually come down with the summer cold, but since I've been taking the Zelenko protocol, I've been good. Let's see, this camera, I'm gonna fix the. There you go. Now I'm in the middle, or middle-ish. Yes, and rest in peace, Dr. Zelenko. Yeah, he passed away from cancer. Probably about a month ago. And he was fighting the cancer like for years, and and he announced it, like a few months before he passed away. Hey, I'm fighting cancer, and nobody really knew. Yeah, but he was doing heavy lifting, helping people recover, from sickness, from the COVID, if you want to call it, COVID. And he sells his Zelinkor protocol. It's basically one pill, and the one pill has it's got zinc in it. It's got zinc. It's got quercetin. It's got vitamin D. It's got vitamin C. So it's all in one pill. But you can build your own you can build your own kit. Just buy some vitamin C. You can buy zinc and quercetin. That's in one pill. So that way you don't have extra bottles. And buy your own vitamin D. It's summertime now, and of course, since it's summertime, I've cut back in vitamin D because I'm outside, I'm outside all the time. You get sun when you drive to work. You get beat by the sun when you're driving home. When you're going to lunch, you get home. I'm out in the garden. I get more sun, so I don't really need vitamin D. So if you got vitamin D, cut back on it. Doctors even say that, if you go to like a nutritionist, or if you go to your family practitioner, they'll tell you, hey, you don't really need vitamin D during the summer because it's summer. You get a lot of sun. Unless you're inside all the time during the summer. But in the summertime, most of us are outside a lot in the garden. You go walking. even if you go shopping. But if you got one of those little kids or brats who like to stay inside and play games all the time, kick them outside to go, kick the ball around, play with the dog in the backyard, take the dog walking. If you trust them enough, take the dog walking. So it's the base of those four things: vitamin D, vitamin C, the zinc and quercetin. You can add more onto the list, but that's basically the Zelinkor protocol. Yeah, so back to the dictator Biden's fascist dictator speech that he gave yesterday. It's like, I didn't watch it, but of course, some of the YouTuber, I guess political or just YouTuber commentators, they took one for the team and they watched it, and they're like, yeah, it was basically a 25-minute rant about Trump and MAGA. I'm almost halfway through, so doing pretty good. Okay, that was strange. Let me make sure that the buttons, no, it's the, yeah, it's just shut off on me in like, what, almost 4 minutes, and I don't know, this is, of course, what I'm using is, of course, the Chinese, or it might be a Taiwanese, either Chinese or Taiwanese knockoff of a GoPro. I would love to get the GoPro 5. The GoPro 7 is out. That's just way too expensive. On Amazon, that's what I call it. I'm not gonna call it by its real name. Yeah, they if you look, they got refurbished, GoPro 3 and GoPro 5. And for my purpose, I don't really need the GoPro 7. This is like $500, $599. And if you already got a previous version of GoPro, unfortunately, all of the attachments, add-ons don't work on GoPro 7. So they GoPro wants their money. They're like, wait a minute, man. All this year, we made all these GoPros, and all of the attachment will work on the ones, that came out before it. We're not making any money because people who got all the attachments from buying the last version, they ain't buying the attachments again. Yeah, it's kind of like Apple. With their chargers and their attachments, each new version of Apple's the chargers don't work with the older version, which forces you to buy more. Unlike LG and Samsung, is like the USB-C adapter, which is pretty much like $5 on Amazon, or if you go into like one of these stores at the mall, one of those small stores that's like in the aisles, and get a charger for like $5 or $10, and they work. You might get, every now and then you might get one. Yes, I got like a drawer full of the USB-C cables for my Samsung wife. She's an Apple sheeple. So you know, she's always, I'm like, look, man, I don't have an Apple, man. You're asking me for a charger, you know. You should keep all of that because that's what you use. So anyways, enough about the dictator. And yes, on Twitter, dictator is trending yesterday and today. Pedal Hitler was trending. Yes, and supposedly someone, I guess an ex-CIA dude, who now works in the private sector. That's what a lot of these guys, you know, when they retire from the FBI, CIA, you know, they come to work, and they come to, of course, they got that, you know, that, hey, I'm ex-CIA, ex-FBI brand behind them, so you know, they can get, you know, a civilian job pretty easily. And the guy supposedly, I guess his specialty was electronics or something like that. And supposedly this dude ran a thing, and then he found that, you know, 8 out of 10 accounts on Twitter are bots. So that's 80%. And he also found that there are tons. And he also found there are tons of bots on YouTube. And I can concur. Any video that I upload, the first comments I get are from bots, you know, and they're Chinese bots. You know, they want you to, you know, add me as a friend on WhatsApp. I'm like, dude, you know, I know you're a Chinese bot, probably sitting in one of those Chinese bot farms. The video that I uploaded with them, they're showing the Chinese bot farm. You know, with these guys and gals sitting in front of this table, and they got this rack of, like, you know, 50 phones. Let me get a drink of water. And also, for some reason, I don't know if the bots are attached to me, but in any comments I make, pretty much on any channel, it can be channels that I'm not even subscribed to. You know, I'll get the notification that was like the comment. Oh, wait, let me see. God dang it, man, it's a freaking bot. You know, like, so and so has responded to your comment. It's a bot. And you can tell it's a bot too. They got these weird, like, squares and X's, triangles. You know, they got the it messages me on WhatsApp. You know, contact me. I have a method to make you lots of money. So yes, YouTube, you know, get rid of your bots. I used to leave those alone, but now when I see them, and you know what? Now that I see them, I used to leave them alone, but now I actually report it to. I don't know if it does any good, but I actually report it to YouTube. And again, like I said, you know, I don't know if it does any good, but hey, I'm reporting it. So, you know, if the India text for YouTube's, you know, if they're looking at, you know, their monthly statistics of reports, and you're seeing all of these bots, you know, they're probably ignoring it, because it's been like, you know, I think that pretty much this whole. I started reporting it this year, around the beginning of the year. Again, like I said, in the past I would just, you know, ignore them, but now I'm actually reporting it to YouTube, and it doesn't seem to be any effect. But, you know, I want it. Number one, I want it out of my video comments. You know, other I guess YouTube creators. I don't know if they care if their comment section is full of bots. If their bots are, you know, you know, all over their comment section. But I guess if you're a big channel, you know, you're getting, you know, hundreds of comments, and then you may not go through there. But yeah, but if you got notifications set, you know, you may get, you know, and of course you'll be getting hundreds of notifications, and I can see those folks just ignoring it because they, look, man, I'm tired. You know, I gotta go through, you know, out of 100 comments, I gotta go through and send notifications to YouTube, you know, of 50 bots. That in itself would be a job. You know, it would probably take you like an hour, 2 hours just going through and reporting all of those bots to YouTube. But you know, if you're an individual like me who, you know, does it yourself, you know, and if you have, you know, 10,000 people that's reporting it, you know, that could easily be a million reports a month, or at least a couple hundred thousand reports a month. All right, so let's see. It was a yes. There is a Trump rally tomorrow. So if I upload this video before the Trump rally tomorrow, yeah, this is a Friday video. So I'm doing videos while I can, while the weather is permitting and while I got time. You know, be like 2 months. 2 months where I put up another video or put up another, you know, slew of videos. This is a good smoking cigar, nice, smooth draw. And now that I smoked it halfway through, the smoke is a little bit more hot, because it is, you know, a lot closer. It's a lot closer to the to the head. So yeah, so the smoke is going to be a little bit hotter. And yeah, for those of you who don't smoke cigars, yeah, for a cigar, when you smoke it down, the closer you get to the end, or to the nub, you know, the closer you get to the nub, the smoke will be hotter. You know, you'll find yourself not puffing as long or puffing quicker. They do sell kind of like roach clips for weed smokers. They do sell like these. It's kind of like a spike that you stick through the cigar, and you can smoke the nub. If it's really one of those expensive and really good cigar, and you want to, you know, smoke it down till you burn, you want to smoke it down past the nub, you know, and burn your lips. So yes, I'll be watching that tomorrow. And again, I didn't watch any of the. I watched clips of the Biden speeches, his rally speech that he had the day before, his I guess address to the nation. What are you doing, little doggy? You biting bugs? All right. At least as long as she's not barking, I don't mind her being out here, chilling. And yeah, that's the thing. You know, if female dogs are more clingy than male dogs. Male dogs, I've had male dogs that they usually just go off and do their thing. You know, like, yeah, well, you know, they'll come around, you know, give you a sniff and a lick on the leg. But I find that the female dogs that I've had, that they're more clingy. They'll tend to, like, you know, hang around you, or, you know, lay at your feet. I guess that's the difference between male and female dogs. Yeah. I guess when it comes to animals, there's only two genders, male and female, I suppose. And who knows with these lefties, then they may go to animals. It's like, well, my dog's pronoun is bow wow, zigzag, they them. What are you doing, dog? Well, yeah, and she's underneath. Now she's underneath the chair. All right, dog. If I fart on you, dog, don't blame me. So yeah, and the ash, and that's the thing I find with nubs too, that the ash actually holds. And normally with cigars, where you can smoke it down and the ash tends to hold for like an inch or two, that means that you had a really good roller that rolled that cigar. They rolled it nice and tight to where the ash, you know, will hold as long as you're puffing it regularly. So eventually I want to switch out my camera for an actual GoPro, because this camera does what it's supposed to, but it's quirky. It will change the settings. So every time before I do a video, I need to check it, make sure that the settings didn't get changed. Because if you bump it, if I bump it, and GoPro might be the same, I don't know. I've owned an old one, I guess one of the older GoPros when they first came out. I don't know where that is. I'll probably threw it in the trash. That one, yeah, you can, you know, bump it, you know, smack it against something, and it didn't change the setting. But this one, if I'm holding it in my hand, I probably need to put it. I probably need to put it in the case, that waterproof case, or that shock-proof case that came with it, so that, you know, because if I hold it with my hand, I don't know if it's the heat from my hand or it's just the pressure of my hand on the case. It'll start going crazy, and all these settings will start getting changed. Let me change out the and yes, now that I guess I'll close it on this, and now that we're closer to the midterm, we're basically 2 months and like 5 days from November 8th, and the talk of Speaker Trump is back. Okay, that's the light in the yard. It's one of my solar lights is flickering. And yes, it has been cloudy the last few days, so the solar lights aren't getting as much charging. And yeah, and again, these cheap solar lights you get at your local hardware store or you get at Walmart, again, it's hit and miss. I've got one that's lasted about 3 years. I've actually ran over it with the mower, and it still works. Maybe because I ran over with the mower that it's the battery on it is going to, so it might go out now that it's going on 3 years, because that's about how long these made in China lithium-ion batteries are supposed to last. But most of the batteries in these solar landscape lights, they last about 1 season, and I guess that's what they're made to last. The problem is that if you open them up, I got like 3 different ones that I bought, and the batteries are all different. It's like different sizes. The batteries are made. The surprise, I thought all of these rechargeable batteries are made in China, but the ones at least that I've opened and checked on my solar landscape lights are made in Mexico, and they're all a different size. So you can't jump on Amazon and order, even if you put in they have numbers on them. If you put the number in, it doesn't come up. And even if the number comes up, you order it, the battery that comes from Amazon or Amazon is a different size. Because I got something that looks nice. I like the way they look. I was like, I don't want to throw these away. I like the way they look. And I took out the battery, ordered it, came, I was like, what the hell, man? This is a different size. Yeah, and of course, the ones I ordered made in China. But those I don't know. Maybe they are made in China, but I guess finished in Mexico. Yeah, this is a good cigar. It is a light cigar actually. So you won't get that unless you smoke it past the nub. You won't you won't get the nicotine buzz. Yeah, keep hydrated. Let's see, yeah, okay, the dog left. Yeah. I'm not sweating like crazy, so that's good. Yeah, I actually replaced the one burnt out bulb. So if you look, it's probably a lot brighter, because you got light coming from the top and light coming from the front. And yeah, and I thought about making I guess enclosing the porch and making it into I guess a more enclosed smoking area, but that would actually require me to do some some handyman work, which I'm not exactly that good at. If things do break in the house, if I can replace and repair it, I'll do it. If not, I gotta call the handyman. Kind of like I guess a few of the hinges on the kitchen cabinet actually broke. They're the newer type. That's like they call them the quiet closing hinges, and a few of them actually broke. Because I was like trying to close it. What the hell, man? What? It was like, oh, okay, the hinge is broke. And luckily for me, Home Depot and Lowe's actually had the exact same hinge, so I didn't have to do any extra drilling. It's just just straight replace. So that was easy to do, luckily. Yeah, I need to replace this chair. Darn it, man! If I sit for 10 or 15 minutes, I gotta start moving my butt around, because it starts falling asleep, because I'm sitting on it's like a metal crossbar. So if you think about it, and I don't know what's going to happen, I doubt it's going to happen, but if you think about it, you know, Speaker Trump impeaching Biden, I mean, you know, I would lose my mind laughing. Of course, the Kool-Aid heads, the lefties, would lose their minds crying. You know, they'd be reeing their heads off. Because if you can go back and watch the Trump impeachment. Basically, the impeachment process is a member of the House writes up an article of impeachment. They then give it to the House Speaker, who goes over it and says, okay, yeah, there's enough evidence in here to do a vote on impeachment, and then the vote goes to the House. House votes on it. If it passes, it goes to the Senate. In the Senate is actually a trial. And if you watch the two Trump impeachment, even though same for Trump, you know, he had to hire his own lawyer. You know, he didn't get, even though at the time Trump was the president of the United States. It's going to be the same for Biden. And yes, Republicans in the House have already drawn up. I don't know which member of the House, but I guess it was like a couple of them. A couple of Republican members of the House have already drawn up articles of impeachment. But of course, giving it to Nancy Pelosi ain't going to do any good. And no, and I don't like McCarthy, because right now the talk is, you know, if the Republicans take back the House, you know, they'll have McCarthy be the Speaker. I'm like, nah, you know, make Trump the Speaker before you make McCarthy. There's someone else who's not. He's a borderline. Well, he's a rhino basically. Borderline rhino. You're a rhino. He's a do-nothing rhino, or you can call it a do-nothing Republican. You know, dude is part of the establishment. He's been there for a long ass time, and you know, having him as the Speaker, I doubt the impeachment's even going to work. So you know, so don't have him. You know, have somebody else. Yes, I know he has seniority behind him, but you know, the dude's a rhino. He's a do-nothing Republican. Yes, and if you wonder, I don't use my index fingers because it's basically a dud finger. It screwed up when I had carpal tunnel surgery done, and the doctor even told me, hey, you know, the carpal tunnel, the surgery's gonna, he's like, there's a 99% chance that it will fix your carpal tunnel. But there's that 1% chance that something else may screw up on your hand. Luckily, I had my right hand done first, because I'm right-handed. I was like, do the right hand first, because you know, if it screws up now, I'm not going to have you do my left hand. So did my right hand. Hey, no problem. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll come back after my right hand heals in about a month. I'll come back. So I came back, did my left hand, and I don't have pain. I can grab things. Drive. Grab the steering wheel. No problem. The problem is that, and I went back. You know, they scanned it. They couldn't find any nerve damage. They couldn't find any tendon damage. The doctor's like, look, man, you know, I'll show you the picture, and he showed me the pictures of the surgery where he went into the. So basically, what they do is, I'm gonna put the cigar down. So basically, what they do is you can see my cut right here, or the insertion. And yes, I rubbed it with vitamin E per the doctor's recommendation and people online's recommendation. It worked on my right. It worked on my right side. You don't even see any cut, any scars. But something screwed up on my left hand. So he showed where he went in and looked. Hey, here's where I cut it. Here's where I expand. Because basically what he did, he cuts it. They go in. They expand out this little cleft area here between your thumb and your I guess this side of your hand, and they expand it out so that your nerve is not pinched. So that's basically what causes carpal tunnel surgery, is that I guess over time of use, the muscles and the meat in your hand clamps in and pinches the nerve, the carpal tunnel nerve. And yeah, and it's like a big old nerve. I saw the pictures, like, yeah, that's a big old nerve, man. He goes, yeah, that is the big nerve, and you need that because that's what's controlling your hand. Cool. So they scanned it and everything, and couldn't find. He's like, well, we'll probably have to go in and do two more incisions, and because he was thinking that there's probably a pinch, one of my tendons or nerves that goes to my index finger is pinched, or got pinched after the surgery, and he's like, we can go in there, widen out that area to where it's not it's not pinched, or because that's what he thought it was. Yes, there's probably a pinched nerve or a pinched tendon in your hand that goes to your index finger. So I'll probably have that surgery done later. I went to like, I think 2 months of I don't know, what do you call it? Physical therapy. So I went for like 2 months of physical therapy, trying to. But the thing is, of course, if my tendon or if my nerves is pinched, physical therapy is not going to fix it. I got it to where I could actually move. At one point, I got it to where I could actually move the tip of my finger, just barely move. I was like, and I told the physical therapist, well, I'm not coming back because it's barely improving. I don't see, I can bend the middle knuckle, but the tip is like it's like a dud. Yeah, and the nerve there, and the nerve at the tip of my finger is like super sensitive compared to the tip of my other fingers. Hey, you stop barking like the possum. Yeah, I think there's dogs barking in the. Shh, quiet, you. Okay, I guess I'll end the video here. Enjoy your smoke, your cigar, your cigarette, weed where it's legal. I guess for you vapors. And thanks for watching. Take care of the dog.